There's a strange contradiction happening in a lot of people's lives right now. On paper, you're doing better than ever. Your salary is higher than it's ever been. You earn more than you did 5, 10, even 15 years ago. And yet, your life feels more expensive than it ever has. You're not living extravagantly. You're not flying private jets or buying sports cars. You're just living a normal life. But somehow your bank account never reflects how hard you work. You look at your paycheck and think, this should be enough. And then the month ends, and it never is. If you've ever wondered how you can earn more than you ever imagined in your 20s, yet still feel financially tight in your late 30s or 40s, this video is for you. Because the problem isn't your salary. It's something much more subtle, and almost no one explains it clearly. The illusion of good money. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Most people don't actually know what good money feels like. They know what a bigger number feels like. They know what a raise feels like. But they don't know what financial progress feels like. When you were younger, you probably had a number in your head. If I ever make this much, I'll be set. Maybe it was $60,000. Maybe $80,000. Maybe 6 figures. And when you finally reached that number, something strange happened. Your life didn't suddenly feel easier. It felt heavier. More obligations. More bills. More expectations. More pressure. This is where the disconnect begins, because salaries don't exist in a vacuum. They exist inside lifestyles. And lifestyles are very good at expanding quietly. Why more income rarely feels like relief. Here's something no one warns you about. Every raise you get doesn't just increase your income. It changes how the world treats you. You move to a slightly better place. You upgrade the car because it feels reasonable now. You stop checking prices at the grocery store. You eat out more because time feels more valuable than money. None of these decisions feel reckless. They feel earned. And individually they're harmless. But together they create a trap. Because while your income rises in steps, your expenses creep up silently. And the worst part? Your brain adapts fast. The new apartment becomes normal. The new car becomes just transportation. The nicer lifestyle becomes the baseline. Your happiness spikes briefly, then disappears. But the costs stay. The real reason life feels expensive. Most people think life feels expensive because inflation, corporate greed, taxes, bad luck. And yes, those things matter. But they're not the core problem. The real reason life feels expensive is because your fixed costs are eating your future. Fixed costs are the expenses you can't easily escape. Rent or mortgage, car payments, insurance, subscriptions, debt payments. Once these lock in, your flexibility disappears. You can't adapt. You can't breathe. You can't slow down. Every month becomes a math problem you must solve perfectly. And when something unexpected happens, a medical bill, a car repair, a family obligation, it doesn't feel like an inconvenience. It feels like a threat. The lifestyle you didn't choose but accepted. Here's the part most people miss. You didn't consciously design your lifestyle. You inherited it. From coworkers. From social norms. From what people at your level are supposed to do. You didn't sit down and say, this version of my life is worth the trade-offs. Just happened. And now your salary isn't funding freedom. It's funding maintenance. You're running faster just to stay in place. The middle-class pressure cooker. There's a specific group this hits the hardest. People who are doing well. Not struggling. Not wealthy. Just stable. This group carries the heaviest pressure. Because they don't qualify for help. But they don't have margin either. They earn too much to complain, yet not enough to feel secure. They're expected to save for retirement, support kids, help aging parents, maintain appearances, stay healthy, keep progressing, all at once, on the same paycheck. This is why life feels expensive even when income rises. The expectations rise faster. Why time feels more expensive than money. As you get older, money isn't the only thing under pressure. Time is. You're no longer just trading hours for pay. You're trading energy, focus, and health. Cooking feels harder after long workdays. Exercise feels optional until it isn't. Convenience starts winning. And convenience is expensive. You pay for speed. You pay for comfort. You pay to reduce friction. Not because you're lazy, but because you're tired. And slowly, quietly, life becomes optimized for ease instead of intention. The salary trap. Here's the cruel irony. A higher salary often makes this worse. Because it gives you just enough room to say yes. Yes to upgrades. Yes to convenience. Yes to obligations. But not enough room to say no. You're not broke. You're trapped. Trapped in commitments made during optimistic moments, paid for during stressful ones. The hidden metric that actually matters. Most people track income. Some track expenses. Almost no one tracks margin. Margin is what's left after life is paid for. Margin is flexibility. Margin is peace. Margin is choice. Two people can earn the same salary. One feels wealthy. The other feels exhausted. The difference isn't income. It's margin. And margin is created by intentional constraints, not constant upgrades. Why cutting expenses feels like failure? This is another psychological trap. When your income rises, cutting expenses feels like moving backward. Selling the nicer car feels like defeat. Downgrading the apartment feels embarrassing. Saying no feels like regression. But in reality, it's often the opposite. It's reclaiming control. The wealthiest feeling isn't luxury. It's optionality. Being able to absorb shocks without panic. Being able to walk away from bad situations. Being able to breathe. What financial progress actually looks like. Real progress isn't louder. It's quieter. Looks like fewer obligations, lower fixed costs, more cash buffer, fewer financial surprises. Feels boring. And boring is powerful. Because boring scales. The question that changes everything. Here's the question almost no one asks. Which parts of my life are costing me future freedom? Not happiness. Not comfort. Freedom. Every recurring expense is a trade. Some trades are worth it. Many are automatic. Until you examine them, your salary will always feel insufficient. No matter how high it goes. The truth no one wants to admit. If your life feels expensive, it's not because you failed. It's because the system was never designed to make stability easy. From the moment you start earning, you're encouraged to spend. Better phone. Better car. Better lifestyle. Consumption is rewarded. Control is ignored. No one teaches you how to build margin between what you earn and what you actually need. Instead, the focus is always on making more money. Get a raise. Get a promotion. Hustle harder. But earning more without control doesn't create wealth. It creates fragility. That's why so many people with good incomes still feel stressed. One unexpected expense, a medical bill, a job loss, a market shift, and everything feels unstable. Not because they were careless, but because they were never shown a different way. The truth is, wealth isn't built by constantly upgrading your life. It's built by creating breathing room. Margin gives you options. Options give you power. And power gives you peace. When you have margin, you don't panic when things go wrong. You don't rely on debt to survive. You don't feel trapped by every decision. You start making choices based on long-term benefit instead of short-term comfort. The system doesn't talk about this because margin doesn't sell. Spending does. But the people who quietly build it, the ones who live slightly below their means, invest consistently, and delay gratification are the ones who eventually win. If your life feels expensive, don't blame yourself. Recognize the game. Then start playing it differently, because real wealth isn't about having more. It's about needing less and controlling the difference. Most people are taught to ask one question about money: how can I make more? It sounds logical. More income should mean more security, more freedom, more happiness. But without clarity, more money often just means more noise, more spending, more pressure, and more confusion about where it all went. A better question changes everything. What is this income supposed to support? When you ask that, money stops being the goal and becomes a tool. Instead of chasing numbers, you start defining purpose. What kind of life are you actually trying to build? Peace of mind? Time freedom? Stability for your family? Space to grow? Clarity creates boundaries. When you know what matters, spending becomes intentional instead of reactive. You stop buying things to impress people you don't care about. You stop upgrading your lifestyle out of habit. You start directing your money toward what actually improves your life. This shift removes a lot of pressure. Your salary doesn't need to feel massive. It just needs to be aligned. Aligned with your values. Aligned with your priorities. Aligned with the future you're working toward. When income has a job, money becomes calmer. Decisions become easier. Guilt fades. Anxiety quiets down. Wealth isn't built by endlessly earning more. It's built by knowing why you earn it all and making sure your money serves that purpose. That's when money stops controlling you and starts supporting the life you actually want. Your salary isn't lying to you, but it's not telling the whole story either. The goal isn't to win a bigger paycheck. It's to design a life that doesn't constantly demand one. Because the most expensive thing in the world isn't inflation. It's a life built without intention. And the moment you see that clearly, everything starts to change.